I love exploring and adventure in Minecraft, and so I wanted to add proof of this to my house by adding the rarest blocks and items to it. This made me spend hours underneath mountains mining, made me spend hours looking for savannah chests and placing bone meal onto trees, but why did I do all of these things? Well, in search of the rarest block. You might think that this is ancient debris or netherite, and this is the rarest useful block, but your world actually contains millions of it, and contains far fewer diamond blocks because these are only found in an uncommon room in a rare structure, and the same logic will tell you that blue ice or red stained glass panes are rare, despite this not feeling very fair. And so, hello, I'm AbyaXToyCat. Today I'm going to be adding a bunch of rare items to this weird room, which I found underneath my cave house. I actually built it, and it's the stereotype of that meme of, I have this big space and I don't know what to do with it, and we'll do this in stereotypical Minecraft video style, where I'll start by journeying out there, show you one of my grand mega projects that isn't quite complete yet, so that you know that I'm working on big things here, then go back into the overworld where, oh, okay, never mind, that wasn't stereotypical at all, but then go back into the overworld where, as you'll see, oh, it's everywhere. Anyway, then I'm going to appear on a mountain. This is one that I actually destroyed after a sad event in my life, and it is, thankfully, a source of one of the rarer blocks in Minecraft, regular emerald ore. I can now take that back to my chest and say that I'm just missing 2 ores now. How do you find both of those? Well, emerald and coal both like to generate fairly high up in Minecraft. That's why you can find large amounts by going to mountains, but that means we're going to need to find both of these at the natural edge of their range. Coal spawns from 0 to 320, and emerald spawns from -16 to 320, meaning we have to look perfectly around the deep slate layer underneath one of these mountains and just hope that we find an emerald ore. This is going to be a super time-consuming process because I'm literally mining basically every block that I physically can that is right around this layer where the deep slate meets the regular stone, because the regular stone is where you find far more coal and far more emeralds, but we want to find them in the deep slate, so we mine just under here in a series of branches, which hasn't been going well so far, as you can see from the day counter. I have found an ungodly amount of gravel though, and I made a very nice way out to the surface to confirm I was under a mountain still, just to be sure I could actually find things, and a very, very long branch mine. You can see the full process of that in the members only Let's Play, which is out right now. It's a very old style Let's Play where instead of just being able to cut straight to the bit where I find deep slate emerald, one of the rarest resources in the game, being found in one in fewer than 85,000 blocks in the chunks that it's made up of because of just how specific it is. But yeah, we can do that in a edited video, but it's not the style that we use for those Let's Plays, which you might enjoy. But for this Let's Play, we've got some deep slate emerald, and we can take this to our base, obviously alongside some of the regular stuff. Regular stuff that I'm finding by going to these giant caves and then looking around, because you will find a surprising amount of it over here. It might not be that much more common than deep slate, but because it can be exposed to air much easier, we should find it a lot easier. Free? I didn't know this was possible. That cave was literally the meme of when YouTubers go into a cave versus regular people, and I love it. I wasted literally my entire afternoon getting that deep slate emerald ore, so finding the regular stuff this easy makes me feel a lot better, that's for sure. You know, it's a shame you can't fly underground looking for ores that way. I don't know what it would look like, but I want to do it. I mean, technically this is flying underground looking for ores. Technically speaking. Oh my god, it's incredible down here. There's an ancient city? Well, that's, you know, it could have some deep slate emerald if I were to look around it enough. I just don't assume that it will. Okay, now to take all of these blocks back home and put them in my weird room. And we're gonna add the first of these to my basement, kind of going for an infinite sign here and partially failing. It looks like a man with a mustache, and then adding the second of these to the basement, which I think will go right over here. Oh, that looks weird. Also, it's casting a shadow in a way a pot isn't. Weird. Anyway, let's plate this in a slightly more grand place, maybe directly above something. This might actually be a good fit for the center of the weird infinite sign I have, just as a reminder that I have one of the very rarest blocks in Minecraft, and it looks super strange here, and indeed makes the room look worse, unless you know what you're looking at, which I think should be my goal as I go to get the third rarest block. Because the actual answer to the question of what is the rarest block in Minecraft in terms of how often it spawns, there is only going to be one correct answer, and it's this right here. No matter how rare ancient debris or diamond blocks or red stained glass panes are, they will generate multiple times across your near infinite world, but the dragon egg only generates once after you kill the dragon. And so this is the rarest item in Minecraft because you can only find one of it if you're a Bedrock or Java player. If you come from the console edition, as I know many of my subscribers do, this is a bit of a warped fact, and if you want to know how it's possible that I got more than one of these, it's not via some weird duplication glitch or anything like that. I generally don't show these off here in this world because it doesn't feel to me to be legit, but instead what I have to share with you is the fact that Minecraft Console Edition has this setting called Reset End. I last enabled this as best I could tell in 2017, and in that exact same video I said this, interestingly. So we go to more options. We go to reset the end. That was only added actually in, I think it was the last update of last year, like the one where they made the Ender Dragon even cooler, or the end even cooler. So yeah, that's a cool thing you might not know. Anyway, with that said, so a big question about the Better Together update is I don't know what I'm doing with it properly yet. I do know I'm sticking to this for the duration of the beta at least, and at some point later I might switch when they force me to, because again, there's going to be updates coming out that I won't get on this version. When there's a big update that I really need, I'll probably switch over then, because honestly, when it comes to this Let's Play world, basically, Better Together update, I won't be playing it, because even though, you know, there's a lot of benefits to it, the downsides right now aren't worth it for me. I mean, maybe they are for some people, but they're not worth it personally for me, so I'm just not going to be doing it. Easy stuff. Easy explanation. Now you will know. So yeah, that was me foreshadowing that at some point I would be switching over to the Better Together update, the Bedrock version of Minecraft, the version that I'm still playing to this day. Fun bit of history mixed into my rare items, but yeah, because of the Bedrock edition not having a reset end function, as soon as I did switch, I finally was able to make some permanent modifications to my end, which includes laminating it with glass, one of the most ridiculous projects I've ever done, to be honest, but also it includes all of these silly things such as the armadillos that I keep in my end, and all of the weird stuff going on down that ice road, which if you have a copy of this world, I'm sure you've explored at some point. But anyway, let's go back to my base, because I've got 4 dragon eggs I've got to work out what to do with now. So 2 of these dragon eggs, I think it's really easy to work out what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw them right down here into my special little room. I think a dragon egg right there would really help that corner, and obviously for symmetry, putting a second one here would be a really cool flex as a reminder, yeah, this world has something that shouldn't be possible by default, and it looks a tiny bit odd, but again, I think it fits the aesthetic of having 2 rare blocks over here, a couple of rare blocks over there, on top of a couple of harder to obtain blocks. Love to see it, but it still means that the room is missing some key centerpiece, right? Something just feels a little bit off here, and so what if I go and find the actual rarest block in Minecraft? Because dragon eggs aren't rare in the same way that you can argue that diamond blocks are rare, because even though you can only get them in one way, it's something anyone can do in the first couple of hours of having a Minecraft world. Defeating the dragon is not a unique achievement, but do you know what is, weirdly enough, a unique achievement? Getting tall grass. This sounds insane, and you don't, I don't blame you if you hear that and say, Toycat, have you gone off the deep end? Are you going to argue that tall grass is rarer than a dragon egg? I mean, it is taller than a dragon egg too, but I am going to argue that, and let me give you the proof. Here is a piece of grass in Minecraft. I can grow this into tall grass, however, I can never get that tall grass as an item. Placing tall grass in your world is easy, but getting tall grass as an item is not, because when you break a piece of grass, you just get 2 short grasses. I don't know why this is the case, or if tall grass is meant to be rare in this way, but it's unobtainable in creative. Whether you use shears or a silk touch tool, it's just not going to work no matter what you do, except for the weirdest thing that they did in the Village and Pillage update. So in 1.14 they decided that this otherwise unobtainable item should be obtained, but only in one type of chest in one rare way, and that is one type of Savannah Village chest. And so I need to go around my world searching wait, did I want to do that? No, I did not. Searching Savannah villagers and specifically looking for this item. So guess who's on another adventure right now? Your boy. Oh, but first though, I need to logically take the mirror version of my end portal room, which is here in the Nether, and I need to make sure that there's an end dragon egg here too. I made a very poor decision with my dragon egg, and honestly, right now, I want to go out and look for tall grass, so I'm just gonna leave it there for a bit, and then that can be a part of the lore of the world, that I'm just so terrified of what happens if we break another block down, because there is a giant sea of lava down there, and I don't want to lose one of these items forever. That would be a waste of the last dragon egg, so instead, we'll just leave this. It's nice. It's like isn't it interesting? You can walk on it. That's the point I'm trying to raise here. Anyway, though, let's go off and look for the savanna grass. Which means going on another long journey through the tunnel, where apparently piglins have stone swords? Huh. This guy has a sword and a crossbow. All of the piglins in my nether cast. Anyway, my starting point for looking for a savanna village is going to be my partially destroyed mangrove swamp, because I know that this area of the world was loaded up at least after 1.19. Again, with old worlds, you get some benefits like extra dragon eggs, but the downsides are you have no idea when you'll find old or new savanna villages, such as, you know, my most famous and important village in this world is an old village. It would not have tall grass in the chests. I know to some people, exploring by carefully making sure you're in the right part of the world can be a pain, but what I love to see is the weird mishmashing of different versions of the game, so you end up with jungle, desert villages and whatnot. But yeah, we are looking for a village which isn't a rare structure by itself, but specifically a savanna village with its red stained glass panes and whatever else. Haven't found any red stained glass panes in this village, but I have found a hole in the floor. Always one of the silliest designs. Why raise it up and then not finish your flooring? But yeah, we're just checking every single chest that we humanly can, because one of them might have some tall grass in. Wow. As it turns out, I had to look up the odds on this one. For this, the tall grass, which I should be shocked about, but I actually looked into the odds and it's a 45.9% chance, so it's super, super rare and only findable in chests and only is rare if you make it an item. I will immediately destroy the value of this grass if I place it down, but isn't there something magical about that by itself? Anyway, we'll see if there's any more in here, so I can keep some for somewhere else. Nope, just the saddest collection of furniture I've ever seen in someone's house. Honestly, when the Village and Pillage update came out, I thought these new villages were insane. But after a few years, I look at them and I'm like, this isn't a house, this is a prison. But to be fair, that's what I built for villages too, so maybe it's perfect for them. Anyway, now we can go take our tall grass home and we can put it in our special room. Make note of the bees we're seeing along the way, and indeed just how rare it is to actually find those naturally. That's a little bit of a heads up about what's coming for you. Anyway though, back to the rare block room. We have the rarest block, except it's only rare when it's an item, so is it really rare in that way? Indeed, is the dragon egg truly rare if some number of people can have as many as they like, and if anyone can get their one copy as easy as it can be? And even with the deep slate emerald, if it just comes down to a lot of branch mining in an area where, you know, let's be honest, is the smartest place to branch mine anyway, then is it really possible to say that this is the rarest block, this is the rarest block, or this is the rarest block? I think the broad answer from this video is meant to say that trying to ever pinpoint in Minecraft a very rarest block is kind of impossible because of how many categories you can come up with. However, that is why I want to instead make this area not just a celebration of 3 distinct items, but instead a kind of celebration of rarity more broadly, which is why I'm tearing up this floor. It never really fit with the area anyway, and I'm going to put in a floor made out of slightly rarer blocks that aren't necessarily rare in the traditional sense. This is a target block. It's crafted from a hay bale and some redstone, and as you can see, it is a very, very odd block if you put it into your ground. As a result, this makes it one of the rarer building blocks in Minecraft because very few people use this for the function it's intended for, and even fewer would use it for the very odd decoration that it has. But if you combine it with any other item that has a circular pattern, like a log, you can make something beautiful and almost definitely unique. You might be the first person in Minecraft to combine these two items together, and that's where the fun to me comes from, taking rare combinations of things. Ultimately, even if in Minecraft you have the idea of building an entire house out of the rarest blocks, someone will have done that. If you have the idea of going out and obtaining all of the rare blocks, the truth is, working out what they all are is something you'll probably find from a list at some point anyway. As someone who put a lot of their effort previously into making these sorts of lists for videos, you ultimately have to conclude at some point that how you measure rarity is going to be an implicit decision by itself, and so you can never get an objective answer, and so you might as well instead find the answer that pleases you best. And so I'm off to show you my definition of this right after a short visit to my Fletcher cleric commune, because I have some things that I would like to sell and buy from these. This is one of my favorite little like small things I've set up in my recently in this world, because most people have trading farms that exist a certain way. Anyway, slowly piling up those bottle enchanting for some greater purpose at some point. But the greater purpose I have right now is to find items which have that fun grid pattern, and the rarest is perhaps the most fun in my opinion. So I've come out here to a part of my world I discovered after 1.20, as you can tell by my beautiful Cherry Grove portal. And I've come out here because I'm looking for a rare type of tree. Or rather, it's either a rare type of tree or a rare attachment to a common type of tree. You'll know what I mean when we find it. That's because I've decided bee nests are at the top of my hierarchy, partially because they're a very weird item. Most people just use beehives instead, they're much more functional, whereas bee nests only generate naturally and only then at very low percentages, outside of the meadow where it's 100% chance. But if you want to get any more than the 2 bee nests we have in this entire biome, you're going to have to grow trees yourself and wait for a 5% chance. So this means that even though I literally used 2 full stacks of oak saplings before forcing all of them to grow with the remains of some skeletons, but that still only got me 4 bee nests. This was enough for me to come home though and show you the proof of concept. This is something I love to have seen, and it came from Rotsman0258. The match of these 2 blocks together is so fun that even though they're both theoretically more common blocks, the unique mixture of these 2 is something I love so much that I'm going right back out to that meadow to do even more of this. So here's a little super fast tree planting for you, and then the result of placing literally 6 stacks of saplings and growing them all is a grand total of 6 bee nests, plus, technically, I've got this one that comes with honey. Wow, have you heard about honey? It's a great service that gets you discounts on the internet. The best price is guaranteed. At least that's what I heard from some YouTubers. As you might have heard, it actually goes ahead and steals the affiliate codes of many of the YouTubers you know about. And I want to talk about it a little briefly here, because it is something I've been mentioning for years on this channel. And given that this Let's Play seems to have a bit of a throwback concept to it, I want to point out that I have been receiving offers for companies like Honey for years, and I am very willing to say, yeah, actually, if it's just a little sponsor spot in a video, selling that for whatever the price may be can be a really cost-effective way to keep yourself alive and your business running. And I think the people who don't like sponsors on the face of it are just saying they don't like it when YouTubers make money, which I think is a bad thing. But I also think that when there are companies out there that have very, very strict ad reads where they say you have to say it this way, and that includes claims that you know just can't add up, like, oh yeah, there is no possible better deal than when you use this browser add-on, and also they're willing to pay people hundreds of thousands to say it, you have your suspicions. And so I have been very clear on this channel that I've turned down, in some cases, 5-figure brand deals because they'll give me a script to say things, and in that script will be things that I don't believe to be true, or even worse, I know to be untrue. This happened with Raid Shadow Legends the first time, funnily enough. It's happened with a few other sponsors too, though, because a lot of people, a lot of these companies are like, yeah, if we are paying this amount of money to you, you should say the exact things that we want. You know, there is a logic to that in them, but I don't think that this is how, you know, like the world of influencers, the world of YouTubers should work. I think it should be about saying what you believe to be true and ultimately trying your best to make sure that what you believe to be true is correct. Sadly, not enough people agree with me, and so the honey controversy in short. But yeah, I want to point out that I am amongst the YouTubers who they reached out to, but I just said, oh yeah, it's a browser extension where you're promising to spend lots of money to get very little in return. And I never expected it would be what currently happened, but you always know there's something like that down there. Anyway, just a little fun note before the end of the video. Use code TOYCAT and you'll get nothing off your browser extension, which almost certainly is doing something broadly unethical if not illegal. And yeah, just a reminder to uninstall it, I guess. Not that I have affiliate codes in most of my videos. I think I have Amazon links in the description actually. So, you know, if you're gonna click my Amazon link, remember that money will go to Honey if you don't uninstall it. When was the last time someone clicked my Amazon link? Apparently, 15 people used my Amazon affiliate link this year, and they bought things that got me £9.69 in fees, so kind of rolling in that money. As you can see, being honest and just telling people, buy whatever you want and I'll get 5%, somehow actually makes you less than when you lie on behalf of giant companies that seem to steal money from people. That is disappointing. But what isn't disappointing is you can actually see what people bought, and there's like USB-C cables or training DVDs. Someone bought a phone, apparently, an air purifier, a book, and even a scratch-off map. Actually, 2 scratch-off maps, presumably from the second channel. So, yeah, just a reminder, if you want to buy something weird on Amazon, use my affiliate code, and I'll be able to tell you what it was. I can't see who bought it, sadly. I think I can tell you I make the most money when you buy an air purifier, though, followed second by a phone. So, you know, try to buy one of those and not a USB-C cable or a book. Anyway, fun fact. Oh, pick block works so strangely with bee nests. You can pick block, like, certain ones of them, but not all of them. Okay, it's very, very strange. But here we go. We now officially have a mini mosaic carpet made up of target blocks and made up of bee nests. And this is one of the rarest things in here by the total time it actually takes you to acquire it. And ultimately, when you're making a Minecraft build, if you don't value aesthetics first, as you can clearly tell I don't by looking at this room, then what you can value is not how rare is an individual thing or a block by itself in your wider world, but instead, how long did it take you? Because that's what's going to give you the pride or the accomplishment or the sense of flexing that you are probably after at this point. Anyway, I've got a place to go find my third egg now, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video. It took a surprising amount of time to put together. Honestly, this is the thing about, like, doing Let's Plays this way. The amount of, like, times that I'll spend a full hour working on something for it to end up being 4 seconds in the end video is a little wild, and I'll do all sorts of weird things too, where I'm like, I'll work out what I said an hour ago, so that like an hour later I can say the other half of the sentence, but an entirely different cut, and I think it's not a very efficient way to do anything, but yeah, I guess that's how you could broadly describe my Let's Play world in general, right? But hopefully this video has inspired you in some way to do one of these things in your Minecraft world, if not to work on a build that has some amount of rarity mixed inside of it. And if it hasn't, then I'm sorry for wasting your time. Go buy a phone or an air purifier using my link down below, and remember to use coupon code TOYCAT. It won't do anything, but it'll make you feel better. Make you feel like you're, involved in the process, and like you don't have to look up coupons online, which is the worst part of the internet, and which apparently Honey didn't save us from anyway. But speaking of Honey, I hope that you've enjoyed this, because I'll see you next time. Honey, goodbye.